Hour number 3, the Ron Owens program, and to quote director Jason Reitman, are we live or is this on tape? No, this is live. In the studio, Jason Reitman, who is the director of Up in the Air and one of the great stars of the movie, Anna Kendrick. Thank you both for being on.
I love to be sold out right from moment one.
Well, that's the way it really works. I mean, you just come out and you just say what you feel like saying. By the way, congratulations, Directors Guild. Just heard it this morning on the radio.
Thank you very much.
That's pretty... I think I heard David Blaustein say 55 out of 61 times the person that gets that award wins the Academy Award.
That's true.
Did you guys, Anna, when you were doing this particular movie, and of course you got Anna not only doing Up in the Air, but then my kids, Twilight, just stop it already. That I heard that movie did fairly well, didn't it?
Yes.
Twilight and Up in the Air, couple of winners, right?
I'm sorry if that's taken over your kids in your life.
It does.
I apologize.
And it's very strange because a guy, an older guy goes, I don't get it, and they go, are you crazy? And that, what's Robert Pattinson, is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like on every cover and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's just jealousy. Jason, your dad was Ivan Reitman, or is Ivan Reitman.
Yeah, he still is. Yeah.
He still is. It's interesting. Usually people's kids don't necessarily follow in that order. I always wanted my girls to be talk show hosts. They don't want to do that.
They have no interest.
Directing is something that I think is so complicated. How much of it was just purely because you saw your dad do it and this is what you're comfortable with and this is what you wanted to do, or how much because it just happened to be that way and it just, you were going through life and it stumbled right in front of you?
Well, I don't think I could answer that the question completely because who knows? But I spent my entire childhood around film and I've wanted to be a director as long as I can remember. Certainly, knowing that it's a real job helps, and I think had I not been my father's son, had I grown up in a different city, I might have thought of films, the way I think of sports as something just kind of unattainable. I don't know who gets to do that for a living, but because I grew up at my father's footsteps and got to be on set all the time, I knew this is a legit industry that I could join.
I was reading an article a month ago or something like that. It was talking about directors and how, I guess initially it was producers that got all the attention, not directors. And directors were kind of ancillary to what was going on. And now the directors get the key slot. I don't know how that transition occurred.
Well, I mean, if you go far back enough, I mean, the studios basically owned the directors and the writers and the actors. And the studios, in a sense, were producing the movies. And there's been a few movements in which directors have kind of taken autonomy of their industry. I mean, the 70s were obviously a big moment for that, when you, for the first time, really heard directors' names alongside actors' names, and you'd think of directors as stars in a certain way. And then the movement that really affected me was the kind of independent film movement of the 90s, in which you get a series of directors, starting with Soderbergh and the Coen brothers, moving into Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez, and then Alexander Payne, who was a huge influence on me, and I suppose I feel like I'm following in their footsteps.
Anna, I believe I read you're 24, and you won a Tony at the age of 12.
Lost.
So
I
you've
lost
been
the
around.
Tony.
Oh, you lost the Tony?
Lost the Tony.
They gave it to you and you lost it, or did Kramer take it from that Seinfeld episode? Is that what it was?
No, a lovely woman named Audra McDonald won.
But
that year.
That's right. You were
nominated,
and you were the second youngest, I think.
Something like that.
Trying to do something along that.
Oh, don't act like you don't know the exact facts.
Listen, I didn't even know that until somebody put that online years ago, and that was the first I'd heard of it. So.
But the reason I asked the question is when you take somebody like Jason and you had Juno, for example, I mean, is it intimidating to have to work with a director that big?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't believe the question was addressed to you, Jason. Anna.
Yeah, I mean, my audition was a little strange, and I was very intimidated by him, even in person. And when we had lunch for the first time after I was cast, I was absolutely terrified. But I believe Jason asked me what movies I'd been watching recently, and I said I'd just seen Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains, and he gave me a fist pound over the table, and I was like, oh, this guy's all right.
And that's how you cast her?
I actually wrote the role for Anna.
Did you really?
Yeah,
seriously?
I swear to God. I saw a movie called Rocket Science a few years ago, and Anna's in that, and she's just spectacular in it. And in seeing her in that, I really realized how to write this character, that I needed a young woman who just sparkled and was witty and sharp and kind of spoke like a character out of a 1930s movie. And
it seems almost like the opposite. You seem like just the sweetest person in the movie. You start off kind of like a young bitch, and then you become insecure, and you seem like you're neither.
This personality is the real facade.
This is the real
one. Anna's a know-it-all. Don't let her radio personality fool you.
Capital of Portugal.
Jesus.
See, she doesn't know it all.
You know what? I don't know the capital of Portugal.
I think it's Lisbon, but I wouldn't bet on it. 808-0810 is the telephone number if you want to join us. One of the top movies of the year, Up in the Air. Guy named, what's Clune something in that movie? George something, anyway.
We auditioned a lot of people.
Yeah.
And in came this fresh face named George Clooney.
Yeah,
and,
slipped through?
Yeah, no, didn't have much of a resume coming in, but we were all very impressed by him, and we were willing to take a chance.
If you want to learn more about what it's like to direct movies, what it's like to act in a major movie like Anna's doing, 808-0810, talk about Up in the Air, just have fun. It's a Friday, Ron Owens, KGO Radio, George Clooney. By the way, we've got in the studio Anna Kendrick and Jason Reitman, one of whom is on the cover of Entertainment Weekly this week.
Take that.
KGO Radio is proud to sponsor the 9th Annual San Francisco Sketch Fest, January 14th through February 2nd at 11 venues around the Bay Area, including the Punchline and the Castro Theater, with appearances by Conan O'Brien, Monty Python's Terry Jones, Weird Al Yankovic, Neil Patrick Harris, Andy Richter, and the cast of Reno 911. Make sure to check out Comedy Death Ray at Cobb's Comedy Club on January